This guy just lies and doesn't engage with my video the whole time, and then he calls my video slop.
It's perfectly packaged drama slop. It takes 1 second to...
It's perfectly packaged because he talks bad about you, because he criticizes you, because he brings up evidence of what you're saying, and it makes you look bad. Now, I know for some people that, well, let's be honest with you. Let me be honest with you. There are people on the left that love Hassan. And those people are usually children. Or these are people who have not lived life, have not been out in the world. And not to say that's all of them. Of course, that's not all of them. But a lot of I'm cooler than my parents types gravitate to Hassan. And I find it disgusting. And it's not just him. It's a lot of people like, well, yeah, if you don't believe all my positions in you are bad, then it's like, no, that's not how this works. It's not how this works. And who I find a lot of people that like creators like Hassan, like a lot of the online left creators, it's a lot of people who, quite frankly, have no idea of what it is to be a struggling person in the middle class. Most of these are suburban kids. Yeah, I can talk however I want to talk to police officers, and police officers are pigs, and you haven't been oppressed by police. You've watched your videos. You've said, oh, yeah, I understand the struggling. And no, you don't. Most of you are under 30. You know of us who had to live through the 90s and the crimes that happened in the late 80s and 90s? It's one of those things where it's just like, it's different than just like, oh, yeah, ACAB. Like, no, like, yeah, there are some bastards in the cops. I live in Chicago. We had a police commissioner that got convicted of assault because he wanted to make sure a suspect tasted the barrel of his gun. But a lot of the problems, and it's just like, a lot of this is just outside of just the online left thing. A lot of this, oh, you're just evil and you sound like you have the moral complexity of kids watching Saturday morning cartoons. But I've already talked about it in the video, those that had in the video. Let me actually get to the reaction for this Willie Mac video. And I have watched some of it. Some of the creators I've watched, I've clicked in while they're doing live streams, and I wanted to actually watch it fully myself. So let's go to the video.
Hello, fellow libtards. Last week, I criticized Hassan for promoting propaganda, rewriting history, and his poor coverage of Ukraine. Hassan has since responded to these criticisms by doing the exact same thing, rewriting.
So, Willie Mac is one of those creators who gets on Hassan's nerves. And Hassan can't say, oh, he's just a Destiny orbiter. He's not. Oh, he just hates me because all of the videos he's seen of me saying the stupid shit. But you know, Hassan actually believes this. He actually believes that people hate him just to hate him because it's popular. No, motherfucker, you put out videos out there that makes it easy for somebody to deconstruct you. But let's go. We're responding to this video.
History, relying on the same clips that I've already debunked, and of course repeatedly calling me and everyone else who criticizes him a racist.
The only difference here is that you think brown man bad, brown man terrorist. These are not people who give a fuck about Angie content. Like, didn't this guy live?
And then, you know what's killing me? I know people don't bring it up because it was just a blip on the radar. Hassan's complete victimhood that he has. Well, if you don't like it, it's because I'm a brown man. And, like, he did the shit with Adam something. He literally accused Adam something of being racist with him. It's like, oh, well, since I'm not from Turkey, then I mustn't be part of Europe. Dude, you're an American. Adam something is literally living in countries that are threatened by Russia. He told you that. And Hassan wanted to play the victim because, I don't know about Europe. No, you've been in America longer than you probably have been in Europe. It's this victim ass mentality. And I'm sick of it being a representative of the left. And then on top of that, Hassan says, well, I'm just a white guy. It's just stupid. But let's go.
Literally used to have like a straight up Nazi program.
And when he can't call Muda Islamophobic because he's Muslim, he pulls Muda's race card on his behalf.
Has actively played a role in the we should get Hassan deplatformed train. Extra weird considering that he, went to the Hajj, did the Hajj, went to the Mecca. The fan base that he's trying to cultivate desperately dehumanizes him, or at least.
Why can't it be that somebody is just doesn't like you? Why do you have to actually cloak yourself in a group in order to say that, oh, they just hate us? No, they hate you. They hate you. That's the thing. He's a victim. He's a professional victim at that. Oh, they just hate me. They're just so uncharitable to me. I'm just here, a lowly poor streamer that lives in a $3 million house. By the way, socialism doesn't mean no house. I have a sports car that, costs at least 6 figures. That doesn't mean socialism means no car. I wear a wardrobe that costs more than what you guys will make in 2 years of your regular salary. But socialism doesn't mean no clothes. Get out of here.
It's the people that he aligns with legitimately hate Muslims.
Most importantly, we get to finally debunk the idea that I take Hassan out of context.
There are a million.
And then, this is what gets me too. It's like, how dare you? How dare you have an opinion that's against me? If you're against me, then you're against Muslims. You're against brown people. You're against humanity. How dare you? It's sickening. But let's go.
In different instances, including in the clips that he clipped out of context.
While proving he takes everyone else out of context.
Just the other day, BB fired a really good guy that a lot of people are pissed about, and he fired him because they had a disagreement, and that's like so Trump coded.
He was like a moderating voice in the war room.
Yeah. The person that they're talking about is Yoav Gallant. The person that they're calling a moderating voice said this, which is the reason why there is an active petition, an active application for a warrant for his arrest by the ICC.
We're talking.
What about Hassan literally telling people it's good if, Phil's sons assault Phil's daughters? Dude, you are a Phil son. You are literally giving, nepotism is a thing for Hassan. And he praises the fact that, I made it by myself. Yet you failed out of college because you failed out of one college on your own admission because you was partying too much. It's still those bro videos that you have. It's just insane. It's just insane. But, anyway, let's go.
Talking about the fact that he's the only person that wants to end the war, and I personally don't understand how that's not relevant. But now people like Hassan are going on their channels and accusing us of supporting a war criminal.
That is not a good guy. I'm sorry. It's not. And it's shocking to see Ethan say this stuff.
How do you not know what he's talking about? Isn't this what you do? Ethan corrects Hassan, and Hassan doesn't get back to him, just letting people believe this false story.
Ethan climbed a video of you talking about this. Yeah.
This video catches Hassan in his lies and holds him accountable for his low quality reporting. It's like we could do better than this. We could strive for higher quality, like Holskirt, who makes specialized watches and jewelry.
Okay, yeah. That was a good ad read. No, go ahead. We're gonna let this play.
Made from natural materials, giving them a really unique design. Like this watch made entirely out of wood. How did they do that? It's so cool. Holskirt is a watch.
Actually, I worked for a watch kiosk long time ago. I'm a fan of watches, even though I don't like too much on my wrist, but watches are cool.
jewelry brand for both men and women based out of Austria. And their products range from casual everyday watches to sophisticated designs that I have never seen before. And Holzgren has over 1,000 different designs, so whether you're looking for an everyday watch or a nice piece for your suit, Holzgren's going to have something for you. Whenever we got friends getting married, you can bet I'm busting out the Holzgren drip, the ring, the necklace, and we gotta have something for the lady. And they're all made in small quantities, ensuring a high standard of quality. From watches and rings to sunglasses and necklaces, Holzgren's going to give you something that stands out. And they offer a 2-year warranty on everything. That's how confident they are in their product. So whether you're buying something for your dad, mom, girlfriend, or yourself, Holzgren's going to have something that feels special. So go to holzgren.com/WillyMac Show and use code WillyMac to get 15% off site-wide for your holiday gifts. Thank you, Holzgren, for sponsoring today's video.
All right, cool.
Before Hassan reacts to my video, he prefaces it with everyone who makes good videos agrees with me and everyone who makes bad videos criticizes me.
It's weird.
That's kind of that's kind of messed up. That it's only good if I like it, and if you agree with me, it's bad. Like, no, you guys seen this channel. You guys seen that I've had videos where people criticize me. It's actually fun because I like going back and forth with what somebody said because I'm always right. But it's just fun, and to just have this sheltered opinion of just like they made fun of me. You know, he sits back and cries when people make fun of him. When the camera goes off, he cries.
All the good YouTubers who put a lot of thought and effort into their almost academic paper level researched YouTube essays almost always happen to be, you know, in the Hasanabi side of the things, and all of the worst drama pervert, Keemstar adjacent, orbiter, weirdo fucking loser.
I mean, like, is it okay? I have to make this question to his audience. Is it that he throws buzzwords and then your brain turns off? Like, for real, like Destiny, DDG, Keemstar, fascist. Like, for real, like, does he just throw buzzwords and your brain turn off? Do you have an independent thought, or you just sit back and listen and wait for him to throw buzzwords? You tell me.
Who love hyping up pedophiles and Nazis. Those are the guys who always hate me for some reason, you know?
Technically, Destiny screws Nazis, both literally and physically. Oh, why is he so, you just hate me because I'm always right and you're just a bad person because you hate me. let me do this on first. Or you just hate me because I'm a good person, and if you're a bad person, you just hate me because Nazis and racists and brown person. Like, what? I know that there are some people that think I'm wrong. They think I'm wrong. It doesn't, you know, there are also people that think Santa Claus is real. They're both wrong. But I'm not going to sit back and say, well, you shouldn't just listen to him because me and Aura. And this man doesn't even have charisma. He just is a whiny, spoiled little brat that got lucky because his uncle runs a media empire. And because his uncle is old, he got credit for crapping on his uncle to say, look, I'm cooler than my uncle. But let's continue.
Instead of watching me directly, Hassan watches Bad Empanada react to me. He needs backup.
Oh, dude, Bad Empanada went from bad to good Empanada. Bad Empanada went from bad Empanada to based Empanada.
Did he just flip on somebody because they were sucking up to him? Wow, your ego is strong. He's good at Empanada because he's saying something good about me. Wow. Way to have integrity there. All right, let's go.
Empanada.
Like, this is your champion? Okay, I'll respond to both of you. The first thing Hassan criticizes is me going after his poor coverage of the Al-Ahi hospital bombing.
IDF didn't bomb the hospital? Yes, it did!
Does this guy provide any evidence that he didn't bomb the hospital? No, he doesn't. He just
Yeah, it was news reports. Wow, it's news reports. It was news reports, dog. It was news reports.
insisted it didn't.
What makes it significant was just how poorly Hassan handled a breaking story at the time, speaking as if he had any insight and demonizing everyone who believed in any other expert's opinion.
IDF didn't bomb the hospital. Change title. IDF didn't bomb the hospital. Yes, it did. Yes, it did. Yes, it fucking did.
First of all, the report of a bomb was incorrect. Second of all, the report that it was so many casualties were incorrect. Third of all, the report that what exactly happened when the sun came up and they were able to look at it, oh, that's what's happening. And Hassan has never corrected itself. Even though there's news stories showing that.
Fucking piece of shit. Yes, it absolutely did. Fuck you. Fuck you. You genocidal scumbag.
It is still unconfirmed who bombed the hospital. Hassan claims he was just repeating what most news outlets were saying at the time.
BBC and every other fucking Western outlet had also obviously arrived at that same conclusion.
My whole thing is, why does he need to respond to bad empanada instead of just pulling the video up on his screen and responding to the video? I know he really made the point about it, but it's just like, I don't want to say pre-watch allegations to, maybe know that Bad Empanada is going to clip out bad parts about it, things he can't refute. But literally the video is still up on Willie Mack's page. Look, check it out. The video is still up. Let's go to videos. The video is up. Now, I never watched this, but I don't know. The video is up. What is wrong with this man? He can just respond to the video. He's a coward. He's a coward. What did he say about not watching hit videos about him? He literally watched somebody because he knew that person would fillet him. Wow, this is childish. Let's go.
Early on in the morning. Why else? Why would they not arrive at that conclusion? It makes no sense to be like, oh, this must have been a rocket misfire.
He repeated the same thing in our conversation last year, claiming he was talking to forensic analysts.
I was talking to open source intelligence people and also forensic analysts.
He was reading Twitter. He was reading Twitter. Like, how does he lie like that? We have the video, dog. He was reading Twitter and reading articles off of Twitter. How does he lie like this? Do people actually believe him?
That's what I was doing, and I literally
have people in my comment section said he's a perfect spokesman for the left. And I look at those comments, I'm like, you're a dumb, oh God. Like, oh yeah, he's a perfect spokesman for the left. Well, he just outright lies to protect his fragile ego. But let's go.
do.
But if you go back to his stream, he wasn't talking to anybody. He just read tweets.
Now, here's Evan Hill, working as a forensic investigator at the Washington Post.
This guy did not say it was an Israeli bomb. He repeated the same thing that everyone else did. Hassan just ignores it.
IDF blames Islamic Jihad for a failed rocket launch which hits a hospital in Gaza. You think that there is not proof for this?
He blamed the BBC and Geo Confirmed for his poor reporting.
One of the things that I'm sure you didn't mention was the Geo Confirmed.
Wait. Vladimir Putin is bad. No, Vladimir Putin is murderous. He's a cantankerous old KGB monster that wasn't cool enough to go with the real KGB agents. I mean, I'm not saying he didn't do any monstrous stuff, but he was a little bit too young to get into the real fun of it. And he's resentful of that. He's not just bad. He poisons people because reasons. They questioned him. They mouthed off to him. What the hell, man? For real? Oh, Vladimir Putin is bad.
Twitter thread.
But if you go to the last 40 minutes of his stream, Geo Confirmed corrects the story. And Hassan still writes them off.
Oh, here, by the way, someone making fun of the final conclusion of Geo Confirmed. So a missile exploded in midair, and then a piece of that already exploded missile hit a hospital.
Exactly, GA, exactly.
And killed hundreds of people. This is the absolute dumbass that you guys are putting forward as your conclusive analyzer, okay? God damn it, brother. Jesus Christ, that's how stupid. How stupid. I was literally repeating what the BBC coverage was.
If you use the Wayback Machine and go to October 17th on the BBC's website, the BBC clearly reported that that's what Hamas claimed. On the day of the bombing, Hassan was mad that the BBC...
Yeah, exactly. That was a claim by the Hamas Ministry of Health. Now, yes, we can criticize the the mainstream media for being stenographers for stuff. But this was kind of one of those cases where, hey, let's just put the claims out there. We don't know for sure. We need to do an investigation. That was a thing that happened. But let's continue.
He made this distinction, calling them racist.
Love that they keep saying Hamas run health ministry. Like it's not the fucking health ministry. It's ridiculous. Like, oh, Hamas run health ministry. Well, you know how they are. You know how those dirty Arabs are. They lie.
Dog. And this is what I'm talking about. This is exactly what I was talking about with that Adam something thing. Oh, you don't believe me? It must because I'm a brown person. You don't believe me? It must because you're racist. It's a propagandist arm of an organization. Now, we know from that clip that Hassan did with Pierce Morgan that he has no problem with propaganda. He has no problem with lying to get a point across. He has no problem with lying to put a story together. We know that because all it requires is a good story. Never mind if it's true, but to people like Hassan, all it requires is a good story because that's how he uses to motivate the people, or in Hassan's case, chase the clout. Truth be damned.
All the time, you know what I mean? They're probably lying again.
Hassan, while reacting to my video, still lies about it to this day.
The funniest parts about our conversation when this dildo came on the stream was when he didn't even know that, like, my reasoning originally for why Israel bombed Al Ahly was because, one, Israel had bombed the Al Ahly hospital 2 days prior. Two, Israel had bombed a whole bunch of places, including other hospitals that they've forcibly evacuated at that point. And three, BBC and every other Western outlet had also obviously arrived at that same conclusion early on in the morning. Why else? Why would they not arrive at that conclusion? It makes no.
They didn't. You criticize them for actually not reporting it as fact because of what Hamas said. Wow.
Sense to be like, oh, this must have been a rocket misfire.
But they didn't. You were mad at them for not arriving at that conclusion. That's why you called the media stupid and racist.
Is there a fucking moment where Western media will be honest about this? Like, I know we are cruel here in the West. I know we've done so much. We've done so many awful things. Like so.
I wonder. Do you consider the Ottoman Empire part of the West? I wonder. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. Do you consider the Ottoman Empire part of the West? You let me know. I mean, go back only about 100 years or so. But let's go.
So many unconscionable things, but I really, really thought that there would be at least a little bit of clarity from the media.
Hassan has rewritten history to every news outlet agreed with him at the time. Not true. And that he had all these credible sources. Not true. He was just browsing Twitter.
Never cites his sources. Hassan only goes on Twitter. These are some of the most common things that you hear from people.
It's literally what happened. Go watch the stream. He does the same thing when I criticize him for promoting Russian propaganda.
As far as Ukrainian invasion, I've never been for invading Ukraine. All the NATO defenders.
You literally said Crimea belongs to Russia, so Crimea River. That's Ukraine's territory. Oh, wow. The level of stupidity. I forgot to get, my forehead protectors. Next time I watch a Hassan video, I'm going to get my forehead protectors.
Have just so successfully been like, nah, Hassan loves Russia. He has always been on board with Russia invading Ukraine. Is just not true.
I'm going to put this to bed once and for all. Hassan has never outright said that he supports the Russian invasion, but he has routinely repeated Russian talking points about how Ukraine is full of...
Willie, I have to come at you for this one. You have to understand that he makes a straw man of your position, the most extreme and crazy straw man, to actually say, look, he's lying, and I never said the most extreme version of his position. Come on, you remember that Destiny thing about him? First he lies, and then if he can't lie, he doesn't show the video, and then he always makes the most extreme version. I'll have to ask, does his fans actually watch the actual, go back and watch the Willie Mac video? I wonder if they would go back and watch this video after he's shown it on stream. I know he's really, controlling on trying to get somebody, like trying to keep his audience in the box so they don't go outside the box, because it's a big scary world and you may be tainted by some of the fascism, because if you look on information outside of what he bird feeds you, then you may actually learn something. But do they actually just stick with watching the sign? Okay, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe after the 10 hours they spend in his stream every day, they have energy to do something else besides whine on saying fascism or, Holocaust or, genocide, But let's continue.
Of Nazis. The whole country is on the verge of becoming Nazis.
The reason why a small amount of nationalist forces gaining prominence is additionally terrifying. It's like Tinder, okay? It can cause a wildfire of nationalism because it's already baked in to the attitudes of the commoner, okay?
Then no country deserves to be called good. No country. No country. Because it's in every country. In your home country of the US, it happens. And in your adopted ancestral country of Turkey, it happened. Who do you think Erdogan is? All this talk about Western dictatorships and Western colonization and Western this motherfucker never talks about what's happening with Turkey and Erdogan and what's happening with the Kurds. He never speaks on that. Yeah, there are some things happening. Let's continue.
Every person already has like a predisposition towards nationalist tendencies. So the issue is when you start legitimizing the nationalist guys, boom, all of a sudden the country could turn fascist like that, okay?
He watches this clip and lies about its context.
Okay? Wait, he said, wait, dude, I can't, oh my God. Yeah, I'm right. This is me criticizing Vladimir Putin.
No, it's not. He does not mention Putin once. He says this like I can't go watch his video and prove I'm wrong. It's from him reacting to the Grebels Institute's video saying Ukraine is full of Nazis.
So fucking weird to be like, oh, dude, like this is unimportant. Oh, dude, it's like only a couple Nazis. Oh, dude, they get so triggered when you talk about the Nazis in Ukraine. And there's only a...
What kills me is that this man literally goes to this chat. Like, I know I made a comment about this before in one of the videos multiple times, but imagine sitting in a live stream. I don't want you guys who sitting in a live stream to think I'm like bugging you, bagging, talking bad about you. But imagine sitting in a live stream and just saying something, hoping for some iota of attention from the streamer, and you're filleting them through the screen. I have no problem. You guys seen it. Some of my supporters have actually came in here during the chat and actually said, hey, I disagree with you. And I've gotten one guy by that person. And it's just like, yo, like, this is a level of conversation that I have because I make these videos in order to be able to have that conversation back and forth. But you get these sycophants in his chat. Like, yeah, no, Hassan, please love me. I need you to pay attention to me. It's just sad. It's sad. I'm sorry, this is off on a tangent, but that just, it just, like, if I came in here and says, Crimson, do you love me? I would have, first I'm like, I ban you for, quoting Drake, but, it's just like, wow, okay.
A couple Nazis, like, who gives a oh, dude, there's Nazis on the Russian side. Okay, we're not fucking training them. And we're not giving them guns.
It wasn't a criticism of Putin. It was a criticism of the United States and Ukraine for letting Azov fight.
The problem is that, Western forces have been beefing up otherwise a fucking very, very loud minority. Like a very, very loud minority of people who would normally be inconsequential, ruining the opportunity for Ukrainian leftists to even push back against the Ukrainian Nazis, which they normally would, because now everyone's hyper-focused on, what Russia is doing, and how to deal with that.
Not once did Hassan blame Putin.
Every fucking person already has like a predisposition towards nationalist tendencies. So the issue is when you start legitimizing the nationalist guys, boom, all of a sudden everyone can, the country could turn fascist like that, okay?
You know what's telling? And I saw it a lot with the people on the left that try to overlook Russia's invasion of Ukraine. And it's sad because, you know, it wasn't that they just, we just want to take this little piece of land. Like, there were reports, and I remember just reading it, of even before the fight in Ukraine proper, there were reports about little green men. That was a joke about little green men that were obviously Russian troops that were leading up even after 2014. And people that sit in these chats that, you know, address the situation as, oh, well, they're just... the U.S. shouldn't do anything. They are literally don't pay attention to all of the shit that was happening between Russia and with not only what they're doing in Crimea and the Donbass, of what they're doing in Moldova as well. Like, literally, we have the news report. Oh, that's just CIA propaganda. Like, no, they are saying, hey, we're doing this with the backing of Russia. Hey, we're doing this because we want. And it's just like, to these people, it's just, it doesn't make any sense that they don't pay attention to this. And yes, it's a problem with nationalists where they actually get a foothold in the country. It's hard to, like, you know, exercise them from the general zeitgeist. But Ukraine was doing that well before what happened in 2022. The Nationalist Party had lost relevancy. You can literally go and watch how their relevancy had relevancy had actually gone down in the previous election. But they act like it was some hotbed. And I know a lot of these leftists aren't really leftists. They're just mad the fact that Ukraine still kind of fought against the Soviet Union in World War II. But it's just, that's all it is. Countries that side with the West is bad. Because the great Russia Federation, that's all it is.
So no, he never blames or mentions Putin. It's the beginning of a pattern where he just says my video is out of context and then fabricates a reality that doesn't exist.
This is precisely what I was talking about. This is me saying Vladimir Putin's unjustifiable invasion of Ukraine will actually develop and grow the nationalist movement. That is the whole point. They're too stupid to understand.
He then pulls up a tweet he made on the day of the invasion saying that as if that absolves him of everything else, which is part of Hassan's strategy. Well, he will say every political position once and then retreat to it when he gets criticized for spouting Russian propaganda. Hassan was saying all the way up through the war starting that it won't happen, but if it does, it's the West's fault.
Focusing on this topic right now, when Russia will imminently invade Ukraine, resulting in many civilian deaths, will lead a number of chatters to wonder if the war is at least partially justified. Okay, dude. This doesn't change the reality that, like, the fucking tensions have been rising as a consequence of the United States gearing up exactly in the same way that they...
Okay, I know I've heard them say this loud. Let's let them finish.
Did in Afghanistan, though. That's the point. Imminent
the Russians started Afghanistan. Oh my God. That's how does his chat not call him out? The Russians started Afghanistan. It wasn't people gearing up. It wasn't the United States gearing up in Afghanistan. The Russians started Afghanistan. They were doing a land grab. They started it. How does he just sit back and lie about this? It's been documented. Okay, let's go.
Invasion, the imminent invasion. Like, what the fuck are you talking about? To a certain degree, does Vladimir Putin want Ukraine? Maybe. Regardless of whether he wants it or not, he needs it as a buffer state. Exactly.
Wait, I thought these were the people where they cared about all these other people, and this is just global politics. Why are you saying it's okay to have buffer states, dog? Why are you saying this? This is not a socialist fucking idea idea of power to the people. This is imperialism. Having a buffer state is imperialism. Point blank serious. Like, no. Buffer states are literally the positions of imperialism. Wow. Okay. Let's go.
Exactly.
When the war started, Hassan repeated that NATO was the aggressor, validating Russian propaganda.
What the fuck are you saying 2 days ago? You said NATO, imperialism, akin to Mexico joining Russia. That is the same still. NATO is still an aggressive, expansionist, imperialist force. America saying that they're going to let Ukraine join, we have an open door policy, is bullshit because they.
How? Hey, we want to join this alliance so this person doesn't invade us. You're starting a war with me. No, we want to join an alliance because we don't want this country to invade us. Put down your shield. You putting down the shield is just same as having a knife to my throat. These countries were afraid that Russia was going to come and invade them. That was a thing that happened. And Putin wanted to punish Ukraine for wanting to join NATO and end up causing 3 more countries to actually join?
They were never actually going to allow Ukraine to join NATO because if Russia invaded Ukraine as easily as it did just now, then it would be fucking World War III. Russia invading Ukraine like this is to show the rest of the world why Ukraine can't fucking join NATO.
He was saying that giving Ukraine munitions was pointless because they already have guns and that we should give Russia a favorable deal.
We have boots on the ground, and this guy's like, oh, we're going to give.
And this is the craziest thing, right? It's the appeasement shit that happened with Mustache Man. That's just well, they're not going to do it. They do it. Well, we don't want to help them to fight back because they're going to do even more worse shit. And Putin was banking on people not caring because people had not cared so far. And yes. Is that one of the reasons this actually started like a world war before? Yeah, it was. But that was only because insane dictators sometimes are too insane for their own good. But let's go.
Give them guns. We'll give them more guns. Dude, they have guns, bro. They have guns. There is literally nothing you can do in this situation. Either you go to all-out war, which is impossible because Russia is a nuclear power, and that would mean nuclear holocaust, or you have to
So the way he's actually saying it is like, because we help defend another country, then that's only going to force Russia to do World War III because we defended another country. That's stupid. That is literally... We can smack you around, or you can let us assault you. That's literally what it is. I mean, like we can't go get the bang bang, or you just let us assault you. That is literally victim blaming. Look what you made me do. Look what you made me do. Wow. Okay, let's go.
Suck it the up and get to the table with them and come to an agreement. This conflict does not get resolved without talking to Russia, without having Ukraine and Russia at the table and
good. Russia's position that they should do is leave the Donbass, leave Crimea, and stop invading Ukraine. That's the position that they should actually take. Cool, great. Ukraine deserves to have the sovereignty of their borders. They do.
Having a conversation and trying to put together an agreement that is going to be incredibly favorable to Russia.
He spewed out propaganda so regularly that he had to put text on the top of the screen that said Putin is bad, just to remind people he wasn't pro-Russia. Now suddenly you can't criticize Hassan. He wrote it on the screen. He references this text as his defense to this day.
There are some other points. No, Hassan supports Russia. No, he doesn't. He also raised $200K for Ukraine. Hitler, which by the way,
wait, aren't these the people that say, oh, liberalism about giving money, it's not really wanting change. Charity doesn't doesn't change anything. You have to have action. But every time he gets in a pickle about something, I gave money. Yet criticizing people for giving money because it's not enough of a change.
Vladimir Putin is bad. Look at the sign. Actually, sorry, I forgot we elevated that to Vladimir Putin is very bad.
The full context of this clip is Hassan addressing people for saying he's adopted the Hitler appeasement strategy.
If you've ever talked about any kind of fucking, like, oh, this is appeasement, Vladimir Putin's like Hitler, which, by the way, Vladimir Putin is bad. Look at the sign. Actually, sorry, I forgot we elevated that to...
Is that telling that he has to literally put it as a layover on his screen? Is that telling? It's telling, isn't it? It's telling that he has to put it as a layover on his screen, so his audience has to do the dangling keys meme. Like, look, this is what it is. Wow, this is sad.
Vladimir Putin is very bad. From bad to very bad. Look at the sign. Then you have to go to war.
Fast forward to today, and Assad acts like he never owned these positions. Guys, I was just stating for a fact that Russia now does own Crimea.
I call Crimea, I call it a part of Russian territory. That's what I call Crimea. I call it Crimea River. Crimea is a part of Russian territory. It's just true. It is.
Again, why does he have to do it through the bad empanada? Why does he have to do it? All right, let's go.
Annexed by Russia.
He's lying about...
And I know. Hear me out. This just seems overly cowardly because he has to do it through bad empanada instead of just pulling up the video. I just can't understand that part. It's just weird to me. Instead of going to the video, somebody making a response about him, he has to put it through somebody else. Like he needs help responding and defending his points.
The context of this clip too, it's him justifying the Russian annexation.
Like, I got fucking liberals schizo posting on the fucking timeline about an inevitable invasion, okay? Like, just actual fucking land war in Ukraine. All of this stuff. And I was 100% right. And now, liberals who literally said, no, Russia is going to do this. Russia is going to do this. Russia is the bloodthirsty psychos at the fucking door. What happened, dude?
He was so widely known for...
They invaded. They invaded. And I remember he was doing cocky stuff like putting TikToks out saying that, oh, it's been this many days. I'm going to have my editor say it's this many days that Russia didn't invade. And like 2 days later, they did.
For having these positions at the time that Dylan Burns, an actual on-the-ground journalist that was in Ukraine, would show everyday Ukrainians these videos and they'd respond to it.
Russia annexing its own fucking territory that it's had, its own territory full of its own fucking people, is not the same as NATO being like, we're going to turn your country into a fucking base and put literal military bases and rockets into your country.
There were literally military bases of Russia in Crimea that they launched the invasion from. What the hell? What the hell? Oh my God. Does his chat not know this? Does people who watch his videos not know this? Oh, all right, let's go.
Thing. And it's its own territory. Excuse me, what is Ukraine even? So this is the imperialist talk for supposedly anti-imperialist leftists who is like all about fighting colonialism and imperialism when only the West does it.
He's obviously not anti-imperialist, right? Because
he claims he is.
Well, he claims a lot of things, but he claims he cares about Ukrainian lives too, which I don't think is true.
Like that you say that they should secede territory to a fascist invasion.
It's not even secession of territory. It's like prior agreements that neither party has held on to. The real Ukrainian...
Hey, don't invade me. Hey, fuck you, my land. How is that? Wait, what? Just because you end up putting a lock on your door doesn't give somebody the reason to kick it down and say, nah, give me your TV. But wait, no, it's my TV. You put a lock on your door. All right, let's go.
I'm sorry, we had prior agreements before Minsk. That's
false equivalence.
He's referring to agreements where it obviously benefited Russia more.
Yeah, it was
as the agreements that we should stick to, rather than the agreements that we had decades before that was fair on all accounts.
Assad's response to this video was to lie, claim that it's out of context, say that it never happened.
Those of you said, chat, has he responded to Dylan Burns' post, by the way, before getting clapped? If you think that I would...
Like, listen to what I'm saying. He's like, oh, you bring it up, you question me? Ban. You questioning me? Ban. You made me look wrong? Ban. This is cowardly. Why do people follow him? He's a coward.
Entertain such a psychotic thing ever in my life. I don't know what to tell you.
How is having actual Ukrainians engage with your arguments psychopathic? It's objectively good for the online conversation.
Wait, did he say it was psychopathic by showing somebody a video, dog, I have to say.
You keep using the word. I don't think it means what you think it means.
He says that it's bad because they disagree with him.
There's nothing more perverted and psychopathic than literally putting Ukrainian people in Ukraine that are being bombed, okay, by an invading force that is unjustifiably occupying their country.
So wait, because I know it's gonna come around to this. Again, I've watched some of the video, but yet he wants to talk to people in Palestine. And the Yemenis teenager who said he was a Houthi, but not really a Houthi. They can have their stories. They can be humanized about their stories. But the people that disagree with you, they're perverts and psychopathics because they're helping people tell their stories. That sounds like a rule for thee, but not for me type situation. Now, Hassan wouldn't be that much of a hypocrite, would he? No, he wouldn't be that much of a hypocrite. Let's continue.
Making Ukrainians sit down and watch my clips out of fucking context in a way that you have framed it to have them go, oh, wow, how fucked up this guy.
Sound familiar? I repeat, the only person taking Hassan out of context is Hassan when he's defending himself. He does the same thing with his inbred comment.
I should go to the old city so I can get my fucking shit pushed in by some of the most inbred fundamentalist hicks.
No, it's not illegal. It's not.
It's just talking about Jews. Would it be wrong? Would this guy think that it was... he probably...
Wait, no, I'm talking about the ultra-Orthodox settlers. What the who would disagree?
Oh, he forgot to cut that part out. Bad empanada. He said the quiet part out loud. Because and I may actually do it, but I don't want to get banned on Twitch. His chat is nothing full of inbred this, inbred that, dog this, subhuman this, pig dog this. All of that's what his chat actually equals out to. And it's just so sad. It's so disheartening that this racism is allowed to fester on the left. But let's continue.
Agree with that. What do you mean? Like, he says, talking about Jews. Nice, dude.
If you go back to his stream on June 6th, Hassan is talking to Israeli chatter about visiting Israel.
Yeah, where is that chatter? He was like, come to Israel. It's so beautiful here. You will see the conflict from my eyes. Yeah. I should go to the old city so I can get my fucking shit pushed in by some of the most inbred fundamentalist hicks.
When he says the old city, I assume he means Jerusalem. Many Jews live there legally. I don't know. He never clarifies. Hassan does not clarify once that he meant only settlers. Then he calls Israel Nazi Germany and says if he goes there, he'll be executed.
Brother, I am not going to Nazi Germany, okay? I hope you understand this.
So I hate the actual, hyperbolism, just the hyperbole that is done, and I guess you can say hyperbole that is done by a lot of these online leftists with streamers. I hate it. And is the situation that's going on in the Middle East seriously fucked? Yes, very much so. I don't want to minimize anything that's going on over there. It's sad. It's sad. It's dehumanizing. But to act like Israel is the only one doing, demonstrably bad shit. It not only is it being bigoted because it's saying the poor brown people over there, they're just doing it because they're mad, and if they weren't mad, they will be better. It's the racism, it's the bigotry of low expectations, but it's also giving people the wrong information. It's literally giving people the wrong information, and I find that way more disgusting than the bigotry of low expectations. It's just disgusting to me because it's making people out like, and it's using some of the worst tropes of anti-Semitism. Some of the worst tropes of anti-Semitism. Now, have I spoken about how oppressed people, when they get monochrome of power, they turn into, some of the monsters that they were fighting against? Yes. Is some of that happening in Israel with some of the people in charge? Definitely yes. But they're not the only ones. That part of the world, because it is such a crossroads of so many areas, and that's going back to the modern, rise of Arab people in the nations around there. It's been a crossroads of so much stuff. It's not surprising that it's so ready for a powder keg. From the steppes to the Middle East to the clashing of that area. I mean, like, it's been in conflict since forever. The Persians, the Greeks, the Ottomans, the all of this. It's not exactly people that have clean hands in that area. And I'm talking about most of the leaders. Most of the people just want to live their life. Well, let's continue.
And I mean this with all sincerity and with all disrespect. Brother, I'm not going to Israel so you can fucking execute me, okay?
We're having a conversation about Israel in general. Am I supposed to read your mind that you met settlers? Because you didn't say it. He's making up context that didn't exist in the conversation. I went on to point out Hassan's hypocrisy when defending China's invasion of Tibet for their inferior culture.
China's
Done with
always
the
taken
express
what
effort
land?
with the
Tibet, Taiwan.
Tibet was literally a feudal slave mandate, like
So
autonomous zone.
China did them a favor.
That was one. I mean, in America, when I say something like this, people get very upset. We talk about the Dalai Lama saying "suck my tongue" or whatever, but like that's not far from the norm in normal Tibetan existence before the Communist Party came in.
The same thing has been said about Palestine. It says China's.
Yeah, and that was the craziest thing, that I get there's a plan for the team, but when you go this far with it, it's kind of sickening.
Imperialism is good because they focus on taking over the.
Formerly enslaved Tibetan people working alongside the Maoist militias to liberate their own fucking non-autonomous region that has historically been on and off a part of the Chinese empire is not saying that the Tibetan culture is inferior. What the f are you talking about?
You're saying since they used feudalism, that justifies China taking over the land, killing 82,000 people, 1.2 million since their occupation, 1 out of every 6 Tibetans. China then settled the land en masse, separating 1 million children from their parents, put them into Chinese state-run boarding schools in an attempt to quelch the culture. It's similar to Asmin, just
So here's what wasn't Hassan one of those people when they found out about the residential schools in Canada was like just shitting on the West? He was one of those people. Now I know when it came to the Uyghur genocide that was happening in the re-education, Hassan was like, "Oh, you need to do it because they're terrorists." He literally actually okayed it. He was like, "No, it didn't happen, and then if it did happen, it was good." He was one of those people. There are some of us who remember the shit. But let's continue.
justifying Israel's attacks on Gaza, saying that they're religious fundamentalists that execute gay people.
Not supporting a group of people that would, kill a gay person or a trans person for existing. I'm not going to support that group of people in any context. These people would be the ones doing the genociding if they had the power.
Like saying they're inferior.
So with Asmongold, we're not even going to talk about that. His mistake was actually just limiting that to the Middle Eastern people. I'm sorry, that's a staple for a lot of people, and especially a lot of people in power. They only care about, hey, how do I keep power? So let me just make an enemy that we can stand against. Ooh, this particular group of people. And the comments was just out the park. And I know part of it is his obviously political leanings that he have. And part of it is when he said he said it I was gonna say another way. He said it pretty fucking stupid. That's the way he said it. He said it was stupid. And what he said, with it being so stupid, it allowed him to get clapped. And he should have got clapped. If he thinks that it's just these non-Western countries. Western countries that did it too. But let's continue.
They're saying they're evil to justify the death and destruction that befalls them is so horrifying.
Hassan never engages with the argument. He just downplays it like, oh yeah, China, yeah, they're not great.
The current Chinese rulership over Tibet is not exactly great. Slavery and feudalism is not a fundamental part of Tibetan culture.
I did not argue that slavery was culture. I said that doesn't justify China's takeover, settlement, and brutality of the people. Hassan doesn't engage with that and just repeats that I love slavery.
That's crazy, by the way. Like, slavery is not someone's culture, man. What the like, what are we talking about?
He compares the annexation of Tibet to the American Civil War.
And the example I used here was actually so good. Not to, hype myself up, but it is directly the same as like the American government during the time of slavery engaging in the Civil War.
Wait, what? That's not what happened. Yes, the principle of the Civil War was that the southern states wanted to keep slavery. The northern states was like, yeah, we don't want to really use it anymore. But the reason for the Civil War is the South succeeded. If it was such a issue with the Civil War from slavery, then every state that had slavery that was still a part of the North would have had to end it. Here's the news flash. Lincoln allowed states to have slaves if they were still on the North. That was a thing that happened.
North attacked the South because they were trying to succeed from the Union. It wasn't about slavery until 2 years into the war. Tibet was its own independent country. It's not the same at all. But hey, high school level education here, owning the political pundits, it sounds impressive, but it's not. When I show the death toll from China's imperialism, Bad Empanado waffles about Asman, never getting to the point.
So Asmongold said that Palestinians deserve to be genocided because they have an inferior culture, because genocide is literally baked into their laws. That's
Hassan just gets up and leaves.
Tibet was a country that had slavery.
And with Hassan gone, Bad Empanado avoids all the points I was making and just repeats that I think slavery is good.
I do not give a shit about preserving the culture of like a tiny slave-owning elite anywhere in the world. Do you? I would hope not.
Again, no, but I don't think that justifies them being systematically destroyed and settled. Just like how I...
And see, these are the people that would praise what happened with Cuba and say, oh yeah, these are slave masters. But also forget that with destroying that system, there were people who weren't slave masters that were affected by the destroying of their system. There are a lot of people that died when this country came and took over. This revolution that Hassan tries to play up happened where it was just China rolling in. Oh, well, they were part of the system. No, there were poor people that died. There were people who were hurt that weren't a part of the system. And this is another thing that kind of just boils my blood with all these people that want to LARP like they're going to cause a revolution. When it's talking about how people are going to be hurt with them wanting to do play their revolution, they don't care. Oh, the ends justify the means. But they claim to be about the people. They claim to be about the workers, the proletariat. But, people got to die. That was a thing. But let's continue.
I don't like Hamas, but that doesn't mean I want all Palestinians to suffer. They laugh and act as if I didn't point out a real hypocritical view that Hassan has. Like I made no argument.
Why can you actually respond to him?
Wait, why doesn't he? You know what? Bad Empanado raised a good point. Why doesn't he ever actually counter anything I'm saying? If you, on the other hand, watch this and you're...
That's what the video is. What? Okay, wow.
We're like, yeah, I don't really know about this Hassan guy. I kind of don't understand it. Maybe you would be like geared towards hating me, I guess. Not trolling, but I don't get the Tibet stance. If you're against imperialism, should be against Chinese imperialism. Okay, we'll get back to the Tibet issue in a little bit. Okay, please.
Meanwhile, Hassan's still arguing.
Wait, what did he say? Not trolling, but I don't get the Tibet stance. If you don't like imperialism, shouldn't you be against the China? Yeah, wow, it's like it's don't ask about that. Don't ask about that because I'll get to it later and never get back to it. We're gonna file this under come back to it never.
If you're against imperialism, should be against Chinese imperialism. Okay, We'll get back to the Tibet issue in a little bit. Okay, please.
Meanwhile, Hassan's still arguing with his chat about my Tibet point. Your audience seemed to think it was a pretty good point, so much so that he gets right on the edge of agreeing with me.
That's crazy, by the way. Like, slavery is not someone's culture, man. What the like, what are we talking about? The Tibet take is unacceptable. You can't ignore the forced Hanification of the Tibetan people. Same as Xinjiang. Hundreds of thousands of people were forcibly displaced. Tibetans have a right to self-determination. British also used the caste in India as a justification for the empire. No.
You fed them too much truth. You fed them too much truth. You fed them too much truth. Uh-oh, they're starting to think for themselves.
You're misunderstanding my position. The continued Hanification is unacceptable. These two things can be true at the same time.
The start of it is cool, but the continuation of it is the bad part about it. Wow. Okay, let's go.
The occupation and Hanification of Tibet is wrong, then why don't you criticize China the same way as Israel? They never engaged with that point, because if he did, he'd have to acknowledge that my America bad criticism of him holds some weight. Instead, just say I'm pro-genocide. That'll do it. I don't understand how you could be pro-Palestine and then support Russia and China. Israel's neighbors with Gaza. Does that make what they're doing okay? No, of course not.
Do you think it's okay? Have you ever made a video denouncing it? It seems like instead of...
Wait. Wow. Bad Empanada couldn't even cut him off quick enough before he answered. Wow. He says no, it's not, and continues to make his point. Wow. Is it? Okay. Wow. That's stupid.
Instead of actually denouncing it, you just attack people who are against it. I wonder why that is. I wonder why you are so extremely laser focused on that. It's almost like you support the genocide and you're too fucking cowardly to say so.
It's true. Israel was about to stop the war and then they watched my YouTube videos. Hassan's nodding. Hassan repeated a very similar sentiment when Muda called him out. You can't criticize Hassan because he criticizes Israel.
I will never forget these monstrous pieces of for looking at a situation like the one happening, the one unfolding in Gaza, and choosing to never say anything about it, only to then make these drama videos to call out.
You're using it as a shield to protect yourself from criticism. It is a... You can't talk bad about me. Did you know that there are kids dying in Palestine? You can't criticize me. Did you know that there are people that can't drink clean water in American cities? Jackson, Mississippi. They can't drink clean water, so you can't criticize me because I'm wrong, but you can't criticize me. You can't say anything bad about me because did you know somebody stubbed their toe? They're in pain, so you can't criticize me. Fuck out of here.
The people who call out the Israeli government. It is disgusting.
What, you're allowed to lie, slander people, and make up your own misinformation just because you criticize Israel? Who's buying this? There are tons of creators who talk about Palestine that I don't criticize. You were the only one who was this bad at covering the news. If Hassan was pro-Israel, I guarantee I could make the exact same videos.
Okay, wow, okay, this is going to be interesting.
I criticized Hassan on buddying up with the terrorists rather than asking real questions. They're just like One Piece.
We think the Houthis, Ansar Allah, is doing what Luffy would do. You should tell him that.
But one of his viewers would point this out, and Hassan would tell him to shut up.
Maybe explain why you're trying to get this type of humanizing information from. Okay, shut up, chatter. Come on, it's not like that's crazy. What does he have to say to dumbass? Yeah. Why am I humanizing?
Wait. By his own admission, he said that, bringing up people in Ukraine, that's bad, that's psychotic. But him humanizing, a Houthi terrorist. No, I'm doing journalism. All right, let's go.
Why am I humanizing a 19-year-old who's only known genocide his entire life?
No. Why is Dylan Byrne, showing videos of Hassan talking bad when they should be just, they've only known war for these last 2 years? I know I'm doing a whataboutism, but Hassan does whataboutism all the time. Why are you showing clips of me? I'm just a streamer in the US. They should be worried about bombs.
Oh, bro, why are you greenlighting the Houthis' mission and comparing it to One Piece while ignoring proper questions so you could ask about KFC?
Ask him if he would stop going on boats if Israel stops the genocide. I mean, yeah, he's gonna say yes, chat. What are you talking about? Those are like dumbass questions. Has he ever had like Western food? Oh, they do have KFC in Yemen?
I wonder if it's like, I feel like it's off.
They're like, why would he ask that?
Ask him if he would stop going on boats if Israel stops the genocide. I mean, yeah, he's gonna say yes, chat.
They've already said that. That's why the blockade is being carried out.
Yes, the
Now, here's the thing. That's a lie. They are pirates, dog. I mean, one country's pirates is another country's privateers, right? What happened to the Galaxy Explorer, whatever that ship is, who wasn't going to Israel? Where's the crew? It's been a year.
Houthis as an organization said that. Rashid did not because he wasn't asked. It would still be a good formality to get his position on that. Instead, they act like Hassan never thought he was a Houthi.
If you think a 19-year-old from Yemen is in the cut and is like inside of the inner workings of the Ansar Allah movement, I don't know what to tell you. You're a idiot. You know what I mean? It's like interrogating your 19-year-old cousin about what Trump is going to do next.
I want to go through this one more time because I now have the full story. Before the interview, Hassan thought Rashid was a Houthi.
Bro, are we about to have a Houthi rebel on stream? Yes, brother. What do you mean? Excuse me? Of course I'm about to have I'm a journalist, okay? This is journalism.
During the interview, Hassan asked if he was a Houthi, but Rashid gave him an indirect answer. In fact, Rashid gave the same indirect answer so many times, Hassan speculated that he was media trained.
I don't know if he is allowed to speak on this. I don't know if he's like actually a part of the groups at all, or just like simply a TikToker. You know what I mean? I don't know how to ask that in the best way possible, though.
Yeah, I feel like we can ask it pretty directly. His answer is he's a Yemeni who stands with Palestine.
Okay, that's interesting. I mean, I don't know. I feel like he's very media trained, surprisingly, but okay.
And after the interview was over, Hassan still thought he interviewed a terrorist, defending himself by saying CNN interviews terrorists all the time.
Even if you don't agree with him, there is genuine value in understanding what his worldview is.
Again, this leads more credit to the fact that he was just crapping on Dylan Burns for literally actually interviewing people. One of the persons who was the girl, I forgot her name. I think she now works with Ethan, but like literally he was interviewing people. Let's go.
Is where he's coming from, why he's doing the shit that he's doing. If you don't want to understand that, you're just intellectually an incurious person, okay? And many people are genuinely intellectually incurious people. CNN literally fucking gets to interview Taliban leaders and even members of Al-Qaeda, which these guys are not like at all, for the record. I am just mentioning that specifically to show you that like this is what the job of like media is supposed to be.
LSF talked about how Hassan interviewed a terrorist, and he acknowledged even my haters gotta think it's awesome.
Look at this, top of LSF. Hassan is currently live streaming with an actual Houthi terrorist, according to the US government. That's awesome. Keep fucking LARPing. At least even my haters gotta fucking actually recognize that it's fascinating to be able to do that.
Hassan was getting
Dude, you said that. This man was in the same outfit. He literally said that. Oh, wait, what? Now is he trying to deny it? The stupidity.
Getting a lot of heat for the interview. It wasn't until a chatter defended him that Hassan considered that Rashid might not be Houthi.
Yeah, I mean, we don't even know if he's a Houthi or not personally. Like, he didn't say any of that shit. He just said he's a teenager in Yemen.
They have since completely recontextualized the entire interview. Rashid wasn't talking about hostages. He was talking about a TikTok video he saw.
First of all, this dude, Rashid, there's no evidence that he actually linked up with any captain whatsoever, especially considering that he's saying the captain is Chinese. There is no Chinese captain. What we found out was that there's an older video that he probably saw that he was talking about where I don't even know if it's from Yemen or not, where they're like, you know, a bunch of captains, I think a Bulgarian captain's like...
So, which is it? Either you allowed somebody on stream that lied to you, or you interviewed the terrorists. Which one is it? Either you're a propagandist and interviewing terrorism to spread their message, or you're a shit journalist. What is it?
Chewing cot or something. I think this was the OG video. Yeah, it was this video. Yeah. It's from literally March 27th, 2022.
Before the ship was ever captured. Why would Rashid be talking about this video? It was translated that poorly. Was this guy just riffing? But even if it was interpreted and translated as if he was talking about the hostages, and Hassan was pogging out.
Does he know what has happened to any of the crews? Like, I heard they tried Cat having a good time. Are they okay?
He's saying they've all tried Cat, including the captain of the ship that he went on. He's saying that the vibes are immaculate.
No fucking way.
He's saying that they win over the crews on these ships, and they like win them over with their charm, and they make them hate America and the U.S. government.
That's so funny.
The crux of the criticism isn't Rashid being a terrorist. It's Hassan glazing what he thought was a terrorist. Hassan knows it wasn't a good interview. That's why he's retconned it to, oh, if I thought he was a Houthi, I would have conducted myself differently.
How was the Yemeni kid not connected to the Houthis, and does it even matter if he was? Not only does it not matter to me if he was or not, it would obviously change the dynamic of the interview if he was.
Bro, you thought he was. I was shown that sometime after the interview, Rashid was at a Twitter space where he said that he was not a Houthi.
No, I am just a Yemeni citizen who stands with Palestine.
But meanwhile, on his social media, he's saying that he was a soldier, talking as if he is a Houthi, saying how only the Jews should fear the Houthi, the executions we will carry out on all Zionists, the ships we bombed and sank. To every Zionist, I will put this in your stomach. But forget.
So he fell for a LARPer. Mr. I'm a journalist. I talk to forensic experts. Your research is Twitter, dog. How does Hassan's fan not get that he's just a bullshit artist?
And all that, Willie must only think he's a terrorist because he's racist.
Like, the reason why this guy is being called a terrorist by this guy is because he's Arab. That's literally his criteria to be a terrorist is to be Arab.
What?
He could not explain to you what terrorist attack he's engaged in. He couldn't even explain to you what terrorism the Houthis have supposedly engaged in.
Bad Empanada is going to get Rashad from Yemen to sue me.
I believe his name is Rashid Al-Khalidi. We will crowdfund a GoFundMe so you can sue whichever one of these people you choose.
What? No. Bad Empanada is insane. What? First of all, this kid came on and now he's appeared to be LARPing. Oh yeah, I did this. Oh yeah, I'm putting like, and he's no wonder Hassan likes him because they both LARP. Wow.
Rashid, my friend from Yemen, you have a chance at a huge payout here, and we will gladly crowdfund you. Pick like the most egregious of them, calling you a terrorist, and let's get them in court trying to justify that label.
Okay, but when I win, I get to keep the knife that Hassan thinks is so cool.
Thought all they did was basically, walk around with like blades in their belts and look cool. I mean, I want to ask him about the knife. The knives are sick.
He says if
he is a LARPer, I want to be part of the glorious jihad against America. America, man. Hassan is a LARPer. Oh my god. Oh my god, he is such a LARPer. The knife is cool. I'm gonna be dangerous too. Like, oh god, he's a LARPer. You know what? I'm tired of rich kids that think that they can be dangerous and end up just being horrible. I mean, like, not saying that they aren't bad, but they're horrible at being bad. Like Sean Combs, like he grew up a rich kid and he was so spoiled and narcissistic that, no diddy. Hassan isn't that bad. I'm not saying he is, but he's a spoiled little rich kid thinking that he was cooler than he is.
If one of those knives comes out in front of you, it's not going back until it has blood on it.
Oh shit. Okay, my bad. Well, I mean, I think it's cool though.
The reality is, these guys don't have a problem with the Houthi indiscriminately firing at ships, many of which don't have to do with Israel. Quote, over the last dozen or so attacks, there has been no Israeli affiliation at all. Hassan and Bad Empanada justify it because they fully support what they're doing.
Missiles at commercial ships that have nothing to do with their state, no connection to Israel. Do you know that basically like every single ship, every single country in Europe, the US, Canada, Australia, supports Israel?
So wait. Because they breathe air, they support Israel. I don't get it. The Galaxy Explorer, whatever it was going to Turkey. From India to Turkey. None of those countries, quote unquote, support Israel. Or they're not supposed to because they're full of brown people. What? What? By their logic, they're not supposed to because, brown people. Wow. Okay.
Weapons, trade, everything they could ever want. They get it. Diplomatic support. They get it. So just saying the ship has no connection with Israel specifically is an obvious lie because by proxy, by that, every fucking ship there has a connection to Israel.
The Houthis said they would only attack Israeli-linked ships. How many degrees of separation need to happen before you stop justifying civilians being targeted? They don't do that, but you guys still blindly defend them. You're like their PR team. When they start attacking other commercial vessels indiscriminately, that becomes terrorism. They can't believe I have this stance. One thing I didn't expect was Hassan to die on the hill that he is Anne Frank, and that Anne Frank should have joined the Houthis. I remember Anne Frank being part of a militia group that boarded commercial vessels and took cap.
So if Anne Frank was a part of the Warsaw Ghetto Uprising, do you think that it would be invalid? If I had the capacity to talk to someone who participated in the Warsaw Ghetto Uprising, do you feel
there's a difference between a freedom fighter and a civilian? There is a difference. A freedom fighter is a military target. Civilians should never be military targets. I know Hassan may never agree with that. If they're not, Palestinian, but civilians should never be military targets. Freedom fighters don't. Hey, go ahead. I'm not even saying you have to go line up on the battlefield and all that other good shit. But civilians are not freedom fighters. Anne Frank was a civilian. Wow, these people are dumb.
Like that would be inappropriate?
The Warsaw Ghetto Uprising directly fought the Nazis. This is like saying Anne Frank should have raided Chinese vessels going to Portugal. It makes no sense. Taking Filipino crews hostage, I would not support this.
No, the only difference here is that you think brown man bad, brown man terrorist. No, this guy is just, he doesn't know anything. He doesn't understand anything.
How? This man literally says that he was part of the Houthis, or he supports this, and how? This infantilizing of a kid that came on your stream bragging and bolstering about how, yeah, I'm a freedom fighter, or I'm somebody that stands with them, implying that he was a fighter. That's bad, dog.
It is shocking.
He makes the world's dumbest comparison and then calls me racist and stupid. It's everything I've criticized him for over the past year. They get to the part where Rashid says he was a soldier, and they're stunned, and Bad Empanada brings up how Gila's a soldier.
What does it mean if he's a soldier anyway? Let's say that he was a soldier. By the way, Gila Klein said that she was a soldier. So okay, let's say that he said that he was a soldier. Could you?
And people give her crap for that. Wait, hold on. People give her crap for that. They act like she goes out and hunts babies on a daily basis still now. The amount of smoke they give her. Wow. Now, here's the thing. I'm not going to say, Hassan is anti-Semitic. We know Bad Empanada is. But he's not necessarily fighting the allegations in the best possible way. I think useful idiot to him is like two words that will never go together in his mind, because he would have to face some uncomfortable realizations. But he's definitely a useful idiot for anti-Semitism. And a lot of people in this chat is as well.
Explain how that makes him a terrorist, exactly.
1, Gila Klein was part of the IDF. That's irrefutable. What's your point then? And 2, the effective governing body in Yemen is the Houthis. So if he's a soldier, yes, that would mean he's a terrorist. You go through all of his anti-Semitic tweets and they rationalize it.
It bears no basis. Again, the leader of the Houthis uttered a slogan during the Second Intifada when he watched a famous video of a Palestinian child dying in front of his father. Like most people know nothing and don't care about contextualizing anything. Of course, it is anti-Semitic, but contextualizing it matters. Yeah. People, I think it's like Nicholas Fuentes. You know what I mean? Like they think that like they got a copy of the Elders of Zion and ran along with it.
What's funny is right after Hassan said this, Lonerbox would point out that the Houthis do quote the Elders of Zion in their sermon. The Elders of Zion being fabricated documents about Jews taking over the world. Here's Lonerbox.
Yeah. They do.
Explaining.
No, it's actually almost exactly in part because they take influence from the protocols of the Elders of Zion. Hassan doesn't know that, obviously, or if he does, he's lying about it. When it comes to the Houthis, I'm pretty sure the Houthis have an exact quote of it from one of the sermons. It's so funny that Hassan just opens himself up, like sets himself up to these things. This is one of the passages on the Jews from one of al-Houthi sermons. The Jews know the effect of faith when there is faith in the nation, and they know that if it is established, they were aware of turning us into infidels. They did not want to study Jews. They said in their documents, called the Protocols of the Elders of Zion, that they did not want Muslims or Christians.
And the Elders of Zion is like just a made up, like anti-Semitic, fanfic. That's the sad part about it. And you get so many of these people that try to All right, let's go.
To be Jews.
Why is he trying to bring this up to dunk on me when he clearly doesn't know? It is a classic Hassan moment.
For a Palestinian to arrive at anti-Semitic opinions, they just see a Star of David on the side of the F-15 that bombs the fucking school, and they're like, oh my God, I hate whoever is doing this to me.
Rashid's not Palestinian, but I still want to engage. I totally understand how that would make someone anti-Semitic. Just like how I understand how someone from Ukraine may hate all Russians. But also, I don't think it's worth the effort rationalizing his post about spiking Jews or shooting them.
All that you can imagine is fighting for like the destruction of the social order, so that people are driven to work for Grubhub and deliver you Big Macs for cheaper than they did before. You literally...
Wait, what? How is that a thing? Do these people think that people that live in Israel are all just super right wing and like, yeah, of course they do. That they don't care about, you know, their day-to-day lives, and they just think, oh, let me pick the bones with some Palestinian child's, you know, femur. Pick my teeth with the bones of somebody's, you know, dead child. It's insane.
Cannot believe that someone would say, yeah, I'm ready to sacrifice myself to fight for a cause bigger than mine, like, you know, against the fucking genocide. To you, this is like self-evidently bad. To a sane human, it is the opposite.
Since this video, Rashid has tweeted out Israel getting nuked, but it's sane according to Bad Empanada, a righteous cause that's bigger than himself. Finally, I make the argument that most Jews are Zionists, and all Zionists are people who believe Israel should exist as a Jewish state. So when you defend a guy who's saying he's going to spike, shoot, and nuke what 90% of Jews believe, it comes off as anti-Semitic. Hassan responds with Zionism means many different things to many different people, and that it means you support the war in God.
So here's the thing. I am a firm believer that the left should actually stop using the term Zionist. Firm believer in that.
Wait, that is 90% status Jewish Israelis? Yes. And even for them, Zionism means something entirely different for many. There are large majorities of Jewish Israelis who are in agreement with the military campaign in Gaza. I am diametrically opposed to that, and I think that that is wrong. And I also personally don't think that that has anything to do with Judaism whatsoever.
I never said the war had to do with Judaism, but Israel existing, Zionism does for most Jews. Hassan doesn't engage, and he just calls me anti-Semitic.
I think it's ridiculous to claim that all Jews actually love that shit, and it's actually unimaginably anti-Semitic, according to the IHRA definitions too, by the way.
This guy just lies and doesn't engage with my video the whole time, and then he calls my video slop.
It's perfectly packaged drama slop. It takes 1 second to...
It's perfectly packaged because he talks bad about you, because he criticizes you, because he brings up evidence of what you're saying, and it makes you look bad. A lot of these people are just uncharitable because they're uncharitable because they think that I'm bad because it's popular to hate me.
Lie about a person, especially when there is an overwhelming amount, amount of social conditioning geared in one way, and it takes an hour to fucking break down exactly why this is wrong.
Bro, that's me. You sit there and lie and bring zero receipts after spending hours rewatching the content. He truly is a top-tier propagandist.
I'm a weirdo. Yeah, I'm a weirdo. People looking at me crazy. I don't care though.
I want to talk about something called the Hassan. The Hassan is when somebody doesn't engage with you honestly and they just call you a racist or a Nazi, or my favorite, just...
Is he getting to his audience? He's getting to his audience. Oh, this is going to be delicious. Let's go.
Blames destiny. A creator named Adam something criticized the Gravel Institute for making Russian propaganda. In response, the Gravel Institute deleted their video. Hassan really liked that video. Hassan, before even watching Adam's video, would call him a Nazi.
Adam something posted.
Oh, he's bringing this up. Oh, this is going to be delicious. Because this is one of the reasons why I'm just like, Hassan is just, you know, it's just dumb and malicious. Let's go.
A 40-minute video about how Gravel lies about Azov, so a bunch of Euro sock dems might come in here being fucking annoying. Dude, I'm sorry to say this, but, you know, Europeans and being secret crypto neo-Nazis goes hand in hand sometimes, okay?
No. They didn't want to be controlled by the Soviets, so they're Nazis.
Europe and pro-NATO Europeans being a fan of Nazis or running defense for Nazis is not exactly news to me, okay? Holy shit.
Adam responded to Hassan, calling him stupid. Hassan then claims Adam can only come to that conclusion if he's racist.
Hassan didn't mean to insult me. He simply reached the narrow limits of his understanding of the world. Dude,
This is what I'm talking about. Like, he goes into this whole, you only hate me because you're racist? You don't like me because you're racist? You think I'm wrong because you're racist? You don't 100% agree with me because you're racist? God damn, he sounds worse than a hotep. No wonder that, you know, FD Signifier likes this man so much. I had to take a random shot, of course.
I can't I can't do this. The narrow limits. Yeah, dude. Just fucking say I'm a Turk roach with a cockroach brain and move on, okay? Yeah, fuck it. I'm saying it, dude, okay? This motherfucker, not exactly out of the alt-right pipeline, okay? Straight up, dude.
Muda criticizes Hassan for pawning out over a terrorist propaganda video, so he implies that Muda is a self-hating Muslim.
Mudahar especially runs with a very weird crowd. And not only does he run with a very weird crowd, he has time and time again tugged on the Hassan heartstrings over and over again with all the other weirdos that he aligns with.
How? Wow. See, this is a reason why. These bad representations are the reason why there are so many people that's trying to get rid of DEI and, you know, they got rid of affirmative action because of this shit right here. Literally, they take their identity status and cloak them around them like, oh, they talking about me because they talking about me, they must be talking about you. This is just, it boggles my mind that these people that don't have any knowledge, any personality, any other type of way of standing on what they have to say. They use their identity as a cloak, a shield to try to protect themselves from criticism. It's infuriating because when you see the real racism, when you see the real goddamn, hey, this is somebody being bigoted, this is somebody being racist, this is somebody being sexist, it cheapens that. Let's continue.
And has actively played a role in the we should get Twitch banned or we should get Hassan deplatformed train. Extra weird considering that he, you know, went to
they're criticizing me, so Hassan should be banned. Not the appraisal of terrorists, not the propaganda of terrorism, but because they don't like me and they said something bad about me, then they should be banned. Because reasons. I am very important. I am very important. Get out of here.
To the Hajj. Did the Hajj, went to the Mecca.
No proof that anybody Muda hangs with hates Muslims, just plays a dumb Uncle Tom and move on. That's the Hassan. Nicholas Diorio points out Twitch's inconsistency with enforcing their policies.
They're not people who give a fuck about Angie content. Like, didn't this guy literally used to have like a fucking straight up Nazi program?
He just made up all of that. A website comes out called Twitch or Terrorist, showing how Twitch streamers repeat terrorist talking points. Hassan calls it Islamophobic. How? It has to do with the words you say, not your religion. Nobody could answer.
So I at first fell for this because I think that people were just accusing Hassan of just, you know, being a terrorism because of that, because the way they framed it, until I actually saw the video. And yeah, no, some of the shit he says is directly parodied by terrorists. But let's go.
Answer me. Hassan blocked me, but then Philly D put me in his video, so he had to respond. He just repeats that it's 2003 again over and over. No real answer.
These are literally 2003. We're back in 2003. These are the most 2003 as
JXE criticizes Hassan for leaving a video playing while he goes to the bathroom. Well, that means Jay's a Nazi.
This is what I said. One fucking year.
And see, that had to have been the most just, how do people forget about that? About his victimization. How do people forget about that? This is just like the clearest sign of just like, you don't like me because I'm brown. And I could have sworn, like, I know he's making this turn towards supporting, Muslim extremists, but I could have sworn that he used to make fun of religion.
A year ago. Since then, he made a video, or they made a video. Afterwards, they had like a bunch of fucking Nazis in the kill stream get together and do an 8-hour reaction to my entire stream.
Ethan claims that Assad harbors anti-Semitism in his audience. Well, he must be compromised by destiny.
And this has been ongoing for the past year because that could...
I swear, Destiny is a boogeyman for Assad. Like, he's always looking over his shoulder. It's like in the Not Like Us video, sometimes you gotta get out and show niggas. And you just see the boogeyman there and you just get yanked back.
Community Bonercelli's community is way more predisposed with making a mockery and presenting a false narrative surrounding one of the loudest voices that is pro-Palestinian emancipation than the actual genocide.
Stop hiding behind the bodies of Palestinians to avoid criticism. It's gross. Hassan gets criticized for glazing a guy that he thought was a terrorist. He goes, well, Destiny did it, so why can't I?
Yeah, dude, I know a lot of you would probably much prefer, all of my naysayers would much prefer me having chicken and waffles with a fucking neo-Nazi who is like infinitely more damaging.
Hey. That was a date. He took his date out for a good time. Hassan, just because you couldn't sleep with Destiny doesn't mean that other people can't.
Damaging to American politics and also just the world in general. But guess what, dude? You know, I think this is infinitely more valuable, even if you don't agree with his framework, with his perspective.
We didn't get to learn his perspective because your interview was so bad. Nobody is saying you can't interview a Houthi. They're criticizing how you did it. Destiny asked Nick challenging questions and did not endorse anything he stood for. You compared the...
Except his penis. He endorsed that. And you know what? I ain't bad. Look, I may be making jokes about it. It's just funny because I know people were just mad about Lauren Southern, but like nobody talks about the Nick Fuentes because it's like, oh, if we make fun of it, it's, you know, homophobic. It's like, no, it's perfectly fine to make fun of the fact that even after he is like demonstrably rude to these people on an interview, he can still go back and screw these people, and it's just hilarious. It is hilarious. And I say these people because that ain't the only person that he's had fun with that he may be disagreed with. I just think some people on the left is just mad that he didn't screw them as well. May have screwed him in the interview or in the way they talked to him, but he didn't screw him properly. That's just awesome. It is awesome that so many people were just like, oh, that was a thing. It is a thing that he's screwing neo-Nazis and he can still and I think it shows the fact that, you know, so many people on the left are just so snowflakey, that they are so whiny and just like how dare you associate with neo-Nazis and argue with them and still can be cordial and, you know, sleep with them and still like totally disagree with what they're saying, and you must agree with them some kind of way. And he didn't. He just screws them. He really F-boy energy. I'm sorry. It's just funny. It's funny. And then you get people like President Sunday's like, oh, we're gonna make fun of him. Oh, hold on, let me give him a drink. Oh, we're gonna make fun of him about it, and it's just like, dog, don't you literally sleep with men and you making fun of him, talking about how he may like certain bodily fluids, but they were Nazis. Oh, you just mad because you can't get a Nazi to screw you and still keep your principles.
The Houthi movement to happy cartoon pirates. If Destiny called Nick Fuentes Captain America, I would have a problem with that too. Everyone's a Nazi, everyone's racist, everyone's Destiny.
It's okay when it's in a three-way. It's not gay when it's in a three-way.
I also was sent this video, Willie Mack Show, whitewashing genocide. And I'm already doing this, so why not? The video opens up saying I lie about war crimes.
This video will expose how Willie Mack uses his YouTube channel to lie about Gaza, Israeli war crimes, and Zionism.
He defends Hassan, misreporting the Al-Ahi hospital bombing.
Despite what Willie Mack might want to claim, Hassan had every right to not trust Western reporting at the time because they had a track record of covering up Israeli war crimes. And just
that would be a thing if it wasn't in the stream saying like, no, this is not the problem. That would be a thing. But in the same stream Hassan reported it, it was evidence showing that that's not a real thing.
Just to give an example, immediately after October 7, news broadcasters like the BBC were called out for describing Israeli casualties as killed, while Palestinians murdered by Israel in cold blood were simply...
Show the full article. Show the full article. Show the full article.
Described as deaths.
I don't agree with that, but why would that justify Hassan making up his own story? Hassan was literally making up his own missile analysis.
I do not know If it was,
Oh yeah, that's right. He literally is like, "Well, let's play a rocket video of this and then the video of that." He literally was trying to do forensics on stream by looking at YouTube videos.
if there's like a deployment, like an activation that Israeli munitions have that can detonate way before it impacts the ground, and if that is the case, then it's still
Our ammunitions experts, everyone, our ammunitions experts.
still on the side of I still believe that it's most likely an IDF airstrike.
Who is this helping? What good is it adding to the conversation? Let's not act like this can't be critiqued.
Hassan had every right to doubt media reports about the Al Ahly hospital, considering their track record before and even with hindsight today. And for Willie Mack to cry over Hassan coming to his own conclusions is honestly baffling to me.
He then implies that this news outlet isn't trustworthy because they pointed out that the only source of information on this is from Hamas.
I love that they keep saying Hamas-run health ministry, like it's not the fucking health ministry.
But it is run by Hamas. Should they lie?
Well, it seems like Willie Mack didn't even do his own homework, because the article that he showed on screen, it later had Human Rights Watch disprove everything that he claims about the Gaza.
Joe Biden doesn't trust casualty figures from Gaza's health ministry. That literally doesn't. That goes beyond your. That goes against your point. That goes against your point. Literally, that goes against your point. Oh my God! All right. Let's see how he pulls this one out. Israel and the U.S. president have shown skepticism about the accuracy of rising death tolls, but others point to historic reliability of data.
The health ministry. We have been monitoring human rights abuses in the.
So let's read outside of just what he's going to highlight. We have been monitoring human rights abuses in Gaza Strip for 3 decades, including several rounds of hostility. We've generally found that the data comes out that the Ministry of Health to be reliable, he said. When we have done our own independent investigations around the particular strikes, we've compared those figures against those from the health ministry. There haven't been major deviations. Their numbers generally are consistent with what they are seeing on the ground. There have been hundreds of airstrikes per day, one of the most densely populated. There have been hundreds of airstrikes per day in one of the most densely populated areas in the world. We've looked into satellite imagery, and we've seen the number of buildings and number that are coming out in line what we expect with. This is just one person.
The Gaza Strip for 3 decades, including several rounds of hostilities. We've generally found the data that comes out of the Ministry of Health to be reliable.
At that point in time, there were conflicting reports, so the proper thing to do is to wait for more information. Also, Hassan was the one disagreeing with the Hamas-run health ministry. He said their casualty numbers were too low.
Update from 8 minutes ago. Between 200 and 300 people killed in Gaza hospital airstrike according to Hamas-run health ministry from 1 hour ago. Wait, what? No, the number is like 800 now.
He's doing the Hassan where he's saying Israel did the bombing despite most third-party investigations saying otherwise. What makes you an expert?
That Hassan had every right to be skeptical about whatever Western media or the Israelis claimed, because whether Willie Mack wants to acknowledge it or not, Israel is the aggressor in this entire conflict, not just in Gaza, but in the past.
No, that's not what they're. All right, I don't have the energy to argue anymore.
75 years.
If Hassan wants to be skeptical, that's fine, but him saying it 100% for a fact happened and you're a genocidal freak for believing the expert.
You genocidal scumbag!
That is ridiculous and criticizable. There's tons of things to criticize Israel for. Why hinge on this one? He goes after me for saying most Jews are Zionists.
He's suggesting that because 90% of Israeli Jews are Zionists, therefore most Zionists are Jews. But the article only shows that most Israeli Jews support Zionism, not Jews globally. And what's funny is that according to a survey by Israel's Ministry of Diaspora Affairs, it found that not only does 1/3 of American Jewish teens sympathize with Hamas, but 2/3 of Jewish teens in America support the Palestinian cause. While many of these Jews that were interviewed also support Zionism, as what the article later mentioned.
84% think Israel have the right to exist as a Jewish state. That is Zionism. I was 6% off on my American teenager demographic. My bad. Jewish people sympathizing with...
Do they not realize that saying that Palestine should have its own state and thinking that Israel should be its own state, they don't conflict with each other? But of course they don't, because what a lot of these people think that if Palestine is to exist, then Israel should be it should be a one state solution, and that's never going to happen. That is never going to happen. A one state solution will never ever happen.
Palestinians is not mutually exclusive with them being a Zionist. Both can happen. He ends the video making a good criticism of me for going after Hassan, laughing at Jewish soccer fans who got beat up.
What the fuck? What is happening?
Israeli fans are not innocent. They were chanting threats to Arabs, being racist.
They were hooligans who chanted racist slogans such as "Let the IDF win" and "F the Arabs," and there are no schools in Gaza as there are no children in Gaza.
Papa Gun also made this criticism.
I mean, if the story is that there's any group of people that are disrupting like some kind of we'll say prayer circle that mourns the death of children, whatever people did that deserve to be made fun of, no?
If they get their ass beat for being racist and hateful, they deserve it. It was a stupid argument from me, and I don't stand by it. I will remove that section from...
Wait, what? Wait. Willie Mack actually admits that he got something wrong. Hassan, you should take notes.
The video once this is uploaded.
And while one creator isn't afraid of saying the uncomfortable truth, standing up to people who defend war crimes, the other manipulates hundreds or thousands of people to believe otherwise.
Where do I defend a single war crime? I condemn it. I condemn Israel's crimes. Bro, you need a break from the internet.
See, Willie Mack is also forgetting one thing. If you're not totally for, the eradication of Israel, then you might as well be killing Palestinian babies yourself.
You think critiquing Hassan is the same thing as defending Israel?
I don't know why I feel like shit. I will not see a therapist.
I want to touch on some things that I found funny. Hassan always cries that people are taking him out of context.
Over the course of an 8-hour broadcast, if you look to literally 3 moments,
How come nobody else shut up as much as you, dude? That does 8-hour broadcast.
Because no one has the most psychopathic fandom like idiots like you.
But he does the same thing to everyone else. He doesn't react to my video. He watches Bad Empanado reacting to it. He doesn't react to Ethan. He watches a Twitter clip or a critical video of Ethan.
Election, which, was perhaps a little bit more significant for someone like myself, a political commentator, and not one that is just LARPing as one for a little bit and crashing the out in the process by regurgitating talking points you're getting from...
Wait, what? You can't talk about politics because it's my job, and you barely talk about politics. Then why did you have a political show with this man? What?
In Destiny.
He says all that and then continues to watch a drama video criticizing Ethan instead of just watching Ethan. His audience has pointed this out before.
You're not willing to look up the context of the criticism about you? Do you realistically expect your detractors to do that for you? Yeah, no, I know the context of the criticism because I know where it's coming from. I've heard it a million times over and I've addressed it a million times over. And I think it's bad faith.
It's bad faith, guys, out of context, but everything I watch totally in context and true. I also find it funny that Bad Empanado wants Hassan to copyright strike me.
Hassan should copyright strike this, 100%. He should just copyright strike this. This would not pass in court for fair use.
He's saying this, meanwhile Hassan gets up and walks away while reacting to his video. In conclusion, Hassan's a liar, misinterpreting everybody, including himself, if it means he could dodge accountability. He will pull the race card whenever convenient, even use other people's race cards if he thinks he can use it against them. He's a coward, not willing to stand by any edgy political opinion he has, always retreating to some text or a tweet to avoid being confronted on it. Or when in doubt, blame Destiny. Call the person a Nazi. In short, he's exactly who we thought he was. Shocker. If only someone documented this before. WillieMackShop.com. My politics is coming.
All right. So it's just telling. This is actually a fun video. And hell, maybe to piss off the Hassan fans, I'm gonna actually release more videos of people talking about Hassan. Anyway, I wanted to do this little video. I know it's actually longer than one of our normal videos. Thank you guys for sticking around. Yeah, like, share, subscribe, leave your comments in the bottom. I want to say thank you to all my Patreon supporters and my Twitch subscribers. Join the Guardians, become a member, or become a subscriber on YouTube, Patreon, and help support the channel. Thank you for watching this video, and the next one should be popping up on your screen. Subscribe, and if you haven't checked it out and want to help out the channel, check out my Patreon. Thanks.